Hello everyone, I am Julian Morris with the Channel 5 News. In the headlines, former Health Minister weighs in on contentious Hospital Authority bill. Dominicans urged to make the country's Creole culture a year-round affair. And various stakeholders collaborate on a newly appointed committee to oversee plans for an international airport. The details coming up.
We are strong, we are resilient, and we will get through this together. But these are stressful times, and it's important to also practice good self-care. It's normal to feel overwhelmed, anxious, or afraid, but there is hope. Reach out to someone, connect with your friends, stay in touch with your community, and know that you are not alone. We're in this together. This is a public service announcement from the Dominica Red Cross.
Flow helps you stay connected to what matters. Simple plans and a better network mean that you can enjoy 7 days of unlimited social messaging, 3 gigabytes of reliable data to use as you like, 700 local anywhere calls and texts with the always-on prepaid plan, all for $29. Keep your number when you switch to Dominica's most reliable LTE network. Buy wherever you top up. Switch to Flow. It only gets better.
A former Minister for Health has weighed in on reactions to the Hospital Authority bill. Here's Andrea Louis with more.
The Hospital Authority bill in its original state was cause for contention among the Public Service Union, which represents hospital employees, as there was a clause which made reference to contractual employment of individuals. At a recent press conference of the National Health Commission, it was decided that that clause would be removed from the proposed bill. Former Health Minister and the current Minister for Foreign Affairs, Dr. Kenneth Daru, says the bill has long been in the making to bring better structure to medical facilities.
The hospital bill, which is currently, I think, making some serious wrongs, especially as it pertains to the unions, especially the Public Service Union, of course, which deals with the health workers. It's a bill that has been in the formative stages ever since I was Minister of Health. We think that the government think that it's a bill that will bring some sort of quote-unquote sanity to the health service at the well-known Dominica China French Hospital and potentially all other health facilities around the island.
Feedback from the stakeholders was key during the formulation of this bill, which is designed to increase accountability at healthcare facilities.
Because what we've seen happening in the past is that the level of accountability and professionalism sometimes is not as optimal. And yes, we've heard the unions expressing their concerns, and of course rightfully so. But what is going to give in this bill is what gives probably in most of the other jurisdictions across the world, and even some of our sister islands. So the whole issue of meeting with stakeholders is important. Of course, the feedback from the union, of course, that was part of the process before we finally take it to Parliament, hear what they say.
Daru is hopeful to receive constructive comments from the Public Service Union as regards the Hospital Authority bill.
One of the things that we see is that sometimes people just criticize, and for criticizing's sake, but if you're critiquing something, I think it's also wise to also offer alternatives or other recommendations, and we're hoping, of course, that after the dust has settled over all of these initial discussions that the stakeholders, primarily the Public Service Union, will present some critical and structured recommendations.
A lecture by former Speaker of the House of Assembly among highlights of History Week this week. The abbreviated Independence celebrations is officially underway, and Chief Cultural Officer Raymond Lawrence, who is also Chairman of the Independence Committee, says History Week will highlight local cuisine.
We also observe Dominica History Week with the theme Traditional Cuisine. Let's not forget that it was traditional cuisine that played a role in sustaining our centenarians and giving them such longevity. So this shows that our traditional cuisine is a healthy form of nutrition. As part of History Week, there will be our annual Eau Blanc lecture on Wednesday, October 14th, which will be carried live on radio, Facebook, and YouTube. Our guest lecturer this year is the Honorable Alex Boyd-Knights, who will present on the topic traditional cuisine.
Other activities for the next 3 weeks include a National Tree Planting Day, Market Day with a Difference, and an art exhibition, to name a few. Dominica's national emblems will also come under the spotlight during the Creole celebrations.
We have National Emblems Week, which starts off with Flag Day on Monday, October 19th. And of course, we encourage the schools, business places, government offices, the diaspora, and Dominicans all over the world to display your flags proudly and find ways to highlight this beautiful national emblem of ours. Of course, during Emblems Week, we can continue to highlight our national flower, our national bird, our national dish, among other emblems.
Independence celebrations will culminate with Journée Coup de Main on 4th November, but before that will be the Independence Day Parade on 3rd November.
On Tuesday, 3rd November, Independence Day, we will be having the National Day Observance Ceremony from 9 a.m. with the Prime Minister's annual address to the nation and the National Awards Ceremony. It will be carried live online and on television and radio. And in the afternoon of Tuesday, November 3rd, we will present the virtual cultural gala. And again, it will be carried live online on television and radio. Independence will culminate with Journée Coup de Main, or the National Day of Community Service, on Wednesday, November 4th. We encourage all Dominicans to participate in some cleanup and beautification project in your community.
A call for Dominicans to celebrate the Creole culture on a year-round basis as the country recognizes 42 years of independence. Andrea Louis explains.
Celebrations to mark Dominica's 42nd anniversary of independence were officially declared open on Saturday by Minister for Sports, Culture and Community Development, Roslyn Paul. The opening ceremony took on a virtual format due to restrictions brought about by the COVID-19 pandemic. Minister Paul says Dominicans must be proud of their Creole heritage and utilize it to their advantage, not only during the Creole season, but throughout the year.
The month of October and the independence celebration give us an opportunity to expand our efforts in the area of culture and our Creole heritage, also for economic advancements. It requires that our artists, our musicians, people involved in the cultural industries to take advantage of new opportunities, especially on the internet and within our communities. So we therefore need to promote our Creole culture and live our lives as Creole people, not merely at independence time, but every day.
Dominica's Creole heritage was also highlighted as a resilient culture which has served the people and country well over the years.
And now that the national focus is on building a dynamic Dominica in the face of climate change, we must understand that our Creole culture has a role to play in this. Our Creole culture has many examples of resilience. See, for example, how many of our older buildings, based on traditional architecture and knowledge, were able to withstand the worst of Hurricane Maria. See how nature blessed us with fertile soils and how our people have been able to use this to their advantage.
The culture minister also called for Dominicans to put their differences aside and work together to move the country forward.
Independence celebration also represents a time when we should put aside our differences and celebrate the things that we share in common as a people. So let us join hands, look at the bigger picture, work together, and embrace new opportunities to rebuild our country in a more resilient manner.
Dominica's 42nd anniversary of independence is being celebrated under the theme, Embracing New Opportunities. Andrea Louis, Channel 5 News.
The Dominica Hotel and Tourism Association is working with all certified members to help transition their business into the digital age. The COVID-19 pandemic has brought about a significant downturn in business for service providers in the tourism industry. The DHTA president says the goal is to help member establishments in the tourism sector continue to do business online using modern tools, particularly in light of the downturn in business realized from the COVID-19 pandemic.
We also, in this COVID time, want to try to help our members use 21st century tools. What we have seen due to the COVID and the development of Zoom, that the acceptance now of 21st century tools is a lot better. We have created, we were in that process before COVID started, a digital guidebook. We are helping our members setting up their property management systems. We are working with our members on a DHTA booking line, and this is totally new now after the COVID. We want to really help them with a business exchange platform. So I see my role, and I'm sort of lucky to be an IT man originally before I came to Dominica, help the members get their businesses in the 21st century and work with them closely as team.
The DHTA president says the new digital approach to tourism business is working.
I think it's been very good. We have about 30 plus certified accommodations at the moment, next to certified taxi drivers, certified tour guides. But as DHTA, we have created a WhatsApp group with all the certified accommodations, and there is a very active exchange of information. The properties are helping each other. In all times, we used to say we create committees. We now prefer to say we have on WhatsApp, we have action groups, and they're active 7 days a week, day and night. In close contact with our members, what we want to try after this big downturn in the COVID time is to bring more business, better business, and hopefully over the next 1-2 years also a more sustainable business to our members. We want to work with them as tourism entrepreneurs and see that they get back on their feet.
You're watching Channel 5 News. We'll have more after this.
A new in-home experience is here. All your services bundled into one simple plan. Faster, more reliable Wi-Fi so that you can binge, play, and stream uninterrupted. Unlimited Flow local landline minutes mean you can talk and talk and talk. Plus the best in TV entertainment with over 120 channels and 29 in HD, all for $160 a month with the new all-in bundle. With Flow, it only gets better.
We are strong, we are resilient, and we will get through this together. But these are stressful times, and it's important to also practice good self-care. It's normal to feel overwhelmed, anxious, or afraid. But there is hope. Reach out to someone, connect with your friends, stay in touch with your community, and know that you are not alone. We're in this together. This is a public service announcement from the Dominica Red Cross.
Government is willing to provide alternative plots of land for those whose holdings will be utilized for construction of an international airport. The Prime Minister made the announcement on his weekly television program on Sunday.
We have a national committee in place, and I have since added representatives from the DIC and the DHTA to sit on the committee, and also DOMLEC and DUWASCO. And we also have an experienced former pilot on the committee. Every effort has been made. We are continuing our negotiations with property owners with a view to settling a mutually acceptable price for their lands and properties. The caller, someone called earlier and asked whether land could be given to him in exchange of lands that the government is acquiring for the airport. The answer to that is yes. We are in fact swapping lands for land in many instances based on the request of the of the property owner.
Another major topic addressed by the Prime Minister was that of the management of COVID-19. He warned Dominicans against getting COVID-19 fatigue.
I know it's a long haul. You know, we've been dealing with this since February, March of this year. There are restrictions, there are guidelines, there are protocols. And as we see in many countries, people are a bit fatigued. We have to continue to be vigilant. We have to continue to be mindful of the protocols and the guidelines set forth by the Ministry of Health. It's important for us to do that, to protect ourselves and to protect the country. So far, we've been doing a pretty good job as a country, as a nation, to manage COVID-19, while at the same time open up the economy to allow business activities to get back to near normal as possible. You've heard us speak about the managed experience concept, where we allow tourists to come into a country under certain guidelines, all in an effort to stimulating and boosting activity within the tourism industry, so that our people can move to full-time employment, move from the 2 and 3 days that many of them are currently subjected to, and we can have foreign exchange coming in. Clearly, the hotel owners, the property owners have had a rough time, not only in Dominica, but the world over. And I believe whatever we can do as a country to ensure that there can be a responsible approach towards managing COVID-19 and at the same time allowing for economic activity, we should pursue this as vigorously as possible, obviously with all of the protocols and guidelines necessary.
And the change in the business landscape brought on by COVID-19 in terms of how business is transacted is not only presenting challenges but new opportunities. President of the Dominica Association of Industry and Commerce points to opportunities to offer greater convenience to customers, such as making payments online, as one of the advantages.
What has been apparent over the last year or so is that or 2 years in Dominica's case, is that disasters and shock events cause disruption, and out of disruption comes opportunity. One of the things that has been brewing as an undercurrent is the sort of digitization of how we transact, how we do business, payment systems, etc. And I preach to the membership that this is something that we cannot ignore. And COVID as a shock event, I think, brought that into sharper focus for us, that we have to modernize, to use a word, the way that we do business and change the way that we approach it. And in doing so, that opens up a lot of opportunities for us as well. It helps us to touch markets that we probably wouldn't serve in the normal modus operandi. And it helps us to deliver a higher degree of convenience to our customers. And what I've seen over the last year or 2 years, as I put it, is there is a greater focus on convenience. And if I can get into a transaction and there is less friction, I am more attracted to that particular service provider as opposed to another. So that is a broad theme that we're seeing that is becoming a challenge, but also presenting opportunities for membership. And we want to ensure that our members are equipped to take advantage of that. Now, on that point, I must commend some of the enterprises in Dominica for how they reacted in COVID. You see supermarkets, for example, moving towards taking orders on WhatsApp and delivering your groceries to your door. But that is not necessarily a sustainable model. So how do we take that and parlay that into something that is continued, where that convenience is not lost to the consumer, and you differentiate your service to a point where it's highly demanded. And that's something that we want our members to take into consideration.
Last week, the DAIC partnered with the government in launching the Dominica Entrepreneurship and Innovation Hub.
In summary, it was really a capacity building exercise. Young entrepreneurs, and as someone who's in finance, I hear it all the time. They say, what is the biggest challenge to your business? And they say it's access to finance. And for many years, I've argued that finance alone is not the issue. Finance and access to finance as an issue can be fixed really as an academic exercise. We figure out how to get your financials in order. You check a few boxes and you can largely approach a financial institution and get qualified. Managing a business is more nuanced, right? You need people who've had experiences before you so you don't repeat the same mistakes. Those are the people that need to be guiding you. So the hub, as we call it, Entrepreneurship and Innovation Hub, was meant to expose entrepreneurs to each other, so they exchange experiences and learn from each other, and also expose them to mentors within Dominica and throughout the Caribbean and the Americas who've had experiences that they could share and teach to those young entrepreneurs. And it was a great value for those participants who actually came through the program.
Flow helps you stay connected to what matters. Simple plans and a better network mean that you can enjoy 7 days of unlimited social messaging, 3 gigabytes of reliable data to use as you like, 700 local anywhere calls and texts with the always-on prepaid plan, all for $29. Keep your number when you switch to Dominica's most reliable LTE network. Buy wherever you top up. Switch to Flow. It only gets better.
We are strong, we are resilient, and we will get through this together. But these are stressful times, and it's important to also practice good self-care. It's normal to feel overwhelmed, anxious, or afraid, but there is hope. Reach out to someone, connect with your friends, stay in touch with your community, and know that you are not alone. We're in this together. This is a public service announcement from the Dominica Red Cross.
A new in-home experience is here. All your services bundled into one simple plan. Faster, more reliable Wi-Fi so that you can binge, play, and stream uninterrupted. Unlimited Flow local landline minutes mean you can talk and talk and talk. Plus the best in TV entertainment with over 120 channels and 29 in HD, all for $160 a month with the new all-in bundle. With Flow, it only gets better.
To end the news, the headlines again. Former Health Minister weighs in on contentious Hospital Authority bill. Dominicans urged to make their country's Creole culture a year-round affair. And various stakeholders collaborate on a newly appointed committee to oversee plans for an international airport. You may access the news on our YouTube channel. On behalf of the production team, I am Julian Morris. Thank you for watching. Join us tomorrow.